Hello, I'm Bloodied Porcelain, and I'm playing Lady Nienna, the Ain She Sorceress.
Hey y'all, I'm Grizz, and I'm playing Fenix, the werewolf craftsman.
Hi, I'm Overthinker, and I'll be playing Irileth, the elven assassin.
Hi there, I'm Stabbykinz, and I'll be playing Siegryn, the dwarven merchant.
Hello, my name is Jimmy, and I'll be playing Oswald, the Witcher.
Hello, I'm Solomon, and I will be your storyteller for this evening. When we last left the professionals, they had come into an inn after being stalked by a grand relict of a beast, of a being called a Leshen, as they were nearby its forest. Oddly enough, there had never been tell of a Leshen within that forest, meaning that the Leshen was new. Something Leshens tend not to do. They tend not to move far from one forest to another. Even stranger, the inn they had made it to on this roadway, after leaving Machina, had interesting company. What seemed at first to just be a very beautiful bard's maid and a very interested, very eager stable boy, as well as one drunk individual, turned out to be a trio of vampires, oddly enough of different makes. A Bruxa, a Catechin, and a... One moment so I get the name right. A Bruxa, a Catechin, and a Lumar. Lumar, actually. What was interesting enough is that not only is it that only the Catechin and a strong Catechin and a Brooks are able to shapeshift, Lumards are normally not. So more changes to monsters abound, and these changes are what pushed Brynnhilder to leave the company of the professionals for a short while to figure out what exactly was going on with the monsters around here, why they had changed so much in such a short amount of time. Leaving the professionals to sleep in the battleground of an inn, but sleep they did, without the trouble of the Heims. It is the first morning where you all feel, those of you who slept at least, that you finally have been able to truly recover, truly get a good night's sleep in, and feel much less emotionally exhausted. Still physically sore from the battle that was held last night, but you feel refreshed from the sleep within the inn. Is there anyone who did not sleep last night?
Yep, going for it in season 2 as well. No sleep in Phoenix. He stayed up all night.
Phoenix. I will say that you did not really get too much of a reprieve. I'll say that if you pretty much just rested the entire night and kept an eye out, that you recovered a third of your stamina. And you did recover half of your recovery value in health just from your own natural werewolf regeneration. Less quick in this humanoid form, but still, it was there.
All right. Am I still considered poisoned if I haven't had the pins in all night?
If you do not have the pins in all night, then no, the poisoned condition has left you, and you are able to recover much easier.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Let's go ahead and begin. Oh, yes?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Let's begin with Siegryn, actually. Siegryn.
Oh, okay.
This has been one of the first nights in a while that you have been able to recover just as easily, not having been tired out from teaching the kids all day, and especially after having that nightmare, feeling much better after the intense nightmares caused by the Heim. This night was utterly refreshing, almost as refreshing as having become a dwarven soup.
I bet.
Render is curled up next to you, looking like he was taking a guarding position, but then eventually just got tired and let you basically rest your head on his large, furry body.
Oh, we love Render. Such a good boy.
And he, as you begin to stir, his eyes slowly open. He like leans in and just licks you right across the face.
Good morning to you too, Render.
His tail wags as he just looks at you and then slowly begins to get up as you raise up as well. And goes to claw at the door, ready to be let out.
Oh, so I suppose you didn't get much time to go do your business, did you, the other night? Oh, all right. Let's get you moving then. She will reach over and then stop and then make sure to actually get fully dressed this time around, given her partial undress as of the last battle, before quickly opening the door for Render.
And he will just bolt out of the room and even bolt right past Fenix after giving him a brief sound of acknowledgement. And will head off, not towards the forest, but just towards the side yard of the inn, as it were.
Oh, good. He didn't go right back to lapping up that hideous blood. Good.
Did track wolf prints of the Catacan's blood all through the inn, though.
You know what? I don't care. Not my property. She will slowly begin to make her way downstairs, only to realize, oh, right, there's no actual breakfast this morning, since all of the would-be quote-unquote proprietors are all horribly murdered. Oh, hell.
It seems. Fenix, you see that Siegryn is up and at 'em and looking much more refreshed than she did yesterday.
Well, that's where you're wrong there, Siegryn, because we have a fully packed wagon, and you better believe my boy started making breakfast. He's hungry. I mean, this was run by vampires, but after cleaning up for a bit, he would get some pots and pans and try to make breakfast for everybody.
There was a larder that did have some stuff that wasn't immediately tossed out by the vampires, since they don't really care about food, they just care about blood.
Yeah, he threw that out and just got some trail rations and dried stuff that he's going to reconstitute. Just like some oatmeal, bacon, just some quick road breakfast for everybody.
Crafting check.
Oh, yeah. Do. 28.
Alrighty. 28. It for being just made out of mostly things you could eat on the trail, things that are meant to last, it smells pretty dang good. There were actually some decent like herbs and stuff that could be utilized from what was left of the larder, as opposed to just the old food that was maybe a little bit off.
Yeah, so he's cooking in the kitchen. You could kind of probably see it. He has his pants, but his shirt was ripped, so he's just wearing his blacksmithing apron while he's cooking.
Just the apron, or
he's wearing pants, but he's wearing his blacksmithing apron instead of a shirt.
I thought you said
You know
his
what?
pants are
Just
ripped.
for it, because we're here and that's the mood. It looks like he's just wearing his apron. There you go. I'll say it.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no!
Sure.
What have I
Yeah.
done?
No, we're doing this. Welcome to the stream, huh?
She stops briefly in like the doorway to the kitchen, gets one look, and she's like, "You know what? I'm too hungry to care. Good morning, Fenix."
Morning.
Isn't
A
that...
full platter or half?
Oh, full, please. Isn't that a bit drafty?
Well, that fucker ripped up one of my best shirts, so I don't really have anything else to wear. And he'll like walk over to the counter and pour out the pan onto the thing, this wooden platter, and just push it over to her. So, wearing this, and just pulls on the apron.
Well, far be it from me to judge you for propriety. And she's gonna take the platter and I guess she'll use whatever scant utensils are left around the place to just start spearing her food and shoveling it into her mouth.
You
Yeah,
do
it's
find
Phoenix.
one fork that is not covered in blood splatter.
Huzzah!
As Phoenix walks back to what he was doing, you see he is actually wearing pants.
Oh, okay.
And with that, the smell of breakfast wafts up the inn stairs and into the room of Irileth and Nienna. Which of you do you think wakes up first?
I'd say probably Nienna is gonna wake up first to find that Irileth is like holding on to her in his sleep.
Aw.
That's so
Aw,
cute.
Button.
Nienna kind of wakes up slowly, cracks an eye. Half expecting to wake up in the middle of carnage and chaos because she passed out right at the tail end of the carnage and chaos last night. And then realized that there are arms around her. And she just sort of like reaches up and like strokes his hair. And probably hums an old like elvish lullaby to him as she's trying to like wake him up slowly.
Just for
See,
sheer shits and giggles, give me a performance roll if you want.
Oh, I hate you. Okay. I have singing.
That'll work.
Is there just a base like performance roll? I don't think there is. I think it's just
That's
fine.
for bards, so it would just be empathy in your fine arts roll then.
Yeah. Huh. 13? Not amazing.
You're not a trained minstrel or any kind of like singer for a grand theater, but
I also just woke up and probably suffered a little bit of hearing loss last night, so
indeed, it's pleasant, and you're working to sing while your ears are still ringing a little bit. So
Irileth will smile. I think I've heard that before.
have you?
Yeah. Long time ago.
Guess I haven't heard it since I was little.
Yeah, me neither. He
How are
opens
you
his eyes.
How are you feeling, love?
Like I got my ass kicked.
Well, that makes sense.
I get thrown through a table.
I'll be honest with you. After the whole world turned into high-pitched squealing, I don't remember a lot about what happened. I know that I looked over and you were bleeding a lot, and then I woke up here.
Yeah, you kind of sits up, pulls down some blankets to show big claw marks across his back, but closed up and well scabbed, like they're maybe a week old. Yeah, you did that, and then just sort of collapsed.
Well, I was running on empty when we got here, so... But I'm glad I haven't lost my touch. And she'll kind of run her fingers over the scabs.
Yeah.
It
Me too.
smells like there's breakfast downstairs, which either means that we didn't kill them, there are other people working here, or Siegryn and Fenix have gotten a start on breakfast.
Well, Phoenix is Mr. Early Riser, so I put my money on that.
We did kill them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
Good.
Brynnhilder was doing her whole fire hands thing, and I think Phoenix beat the other one to death with his hammer.
Out of character, Nienna also threw fire, but there's very likely she doesn't remember.
Yeah.
Fire everywhere.
Out of curiosity, you wouldn't happen to know, as the captain of my guard, and this is not an accusation, but a curiosity, you wouldn't happen to know how that thing got my name? Or the information about my bloodline, would you?
You can see him. Irileth gets up, starts putting on pants. His jaw's working, eyes kind of moving around. I can give you a theory right now. You're a lady. The bloodline stuff, I don't. She did, didn't she? Stops. She said elder blood right before she attacked you.
That part I do remember.
I had her sighted in from the top of the stairs, and I'm not great at reading lips, but I recognized that. I mean,
I know you've been building up a network of informants. I was just curious if you knew how the news got out.
I'm pretty confident our fellow elves wouldn't have sent a couple of assassins, but maybe they've got a leak. I mean, they certainly know. Maybe the prophecy is more widespread than we thought. Maybe
Perhaps.
Maybe the Emperor put someone on the border to keep an eye on you if we left, and they knew more than they should have, told the wrong person. It could be a leak in the Emperor's court, in the Elven court.
Perhaps
I
they
mean, could just be a smell.
Yeah.
A bunch of blood specialists picked up on something weird and followed it here.
Well, if it can be smelled by monsters like that, then we're going to have an interesting travel.
Yeah. We haven't really talked about it.
No, we haven't. And I'd be willing to talk about it, but you have to do something for me.
I'm probably okay with that.
She kind of gives a playful little smile on her lips. Don't put your shirt on yet.
Tosses it back on the chair. Okay.
But that's all I wanted. I just like watching you walk around without a shirt on, that's all.
I think he's gonna crawl back across the bed, and we're gonna be late for breakfast.
Understandable.
That wasn't quite what I had in mind, but I'll go with it.
Phoenix,
Yeah.
you are cooking the next batch of breakfast. A little bit taking your time with it as you realize that you're cooking for a couple. So who knows what they might be feeling after a near-death experience.
But they have, he's known them long enough. It's where it's like, all right, time to get Nope, I'm gonna put a pause on that. Probably eat for myself first. Put it over the fire, keep it warm. Probably be like, I don't know, 5 minutes.
Fair enough.
Take long.
As you are enjoying your own meal, could you give me a roll of awareness?
Oh shit. Did that thing where I closed my character sheet because I'm like, not anytime soon, and then I regret it. Yeah, okay. Damn. 22.
Okay. You are cooking your breakfast and enjoying your own personal little platter. And you can hear horses coming. You can smell horses with your senses. While not as strong as they are when you're actually in your full werewolf form, they are sharper now that the pins are out.
Right. Siegryn,
Yes.
I'll render inside.
Right. She will hop up and she's gonna poke her head out and give a sharp little whistle for him.
Yeah, and
Render.
Phoenix will walk out with his maul just out into the road.
And Berenguer comes running back inside, and you head out into the road. It's a little bit before you actually see the horses, but you see that there is a fairly sizable little, not caravan, but a carriage with an escort. What looks to be a few men-at-arms and even a pair of knights wearing heraldry for a noble house. Let's go ahead and give me a roll of education to see if you know what noble house that is.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
who's making this roll?
Ooh, yeah.
If you're looking out, you can also make that roll.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm good at this. Yeah. 17. That's terrible.
Alrighty. With a 17 and a 22. Fenix, you know the heraldry that is emblazoned on the armor of the knights. It is of a minor noble house, not without its own political power, but not anything like going to the Nilfgaardian Palace every weekend, as it were. It is the House Girsahag. They are mostly a house of knights, much more militaristic, but there's also known for having a few interesting holdings. A stake in a halfling apiary here, a stake in a gnomish blacksmith and tinkering shop here. It's their money that you, from what you know, just from listening in and having been around a noble for a while, or more recently a noble. Their money's all over the place. Siegryn, as someone who is a little more in tune with where money is going, especially money of big names, knows that all these various investments are being utilized likely as fronts for other sorts of businesses. You don't know what kind of businesses, but just from the way it looks shady as shit from your own experience.
Oh boy. Okay. That's cool. I'm sure it's for purely innocent stuff.
Absolutely, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Fenix, you are just standing out in the middle of the road with your maul and your apron and pants.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure his pants have blood on them. Yeah, he's just standing there waiting for him.
And you see the carriage get brought to heel while the knights stop. One moves to the window of the carriage and like leans down. You can, with your senses sharper, can hear that they're speaking but can't make out what the words are.
That's fine. Yeah.
And then one knight will move closer to you and just from his horse just bring it to a stop in front of you. Good day, sir.
Morning.
Are you quite all right? You seem to have blood on you.
Yep. Sorry to disrupt your travel so early in the morning. Just wanted to give you a warning about the monsters on the road that we managed to handle a few of them. And he points to the inn just last evening, but there might be more on the road, so I'd say keep a sharp eye out.
Monsters? And you handled them. Do you have a Vatgern with you?
We did. She went on deeper into the forest to figure out what was happening, but we don't know when she's going to return, and we don't know when the road's going to be cleared. So, I know you have sharp eyes, sir, but I would keep your head on a swivel if I were you.
I see. Well, my cadre and I, as well as our good lady, were hoping to use this inn as a spot of rest before moving on to the city proper. Would you mind if we were to join you?
Absolutely. He will look into the door frame where he's assuming Siegryn is.
Oh yeah. And she's like Disney stacking, only without like literally the rest of the party.
Yeah. He looks at her and moves the eyebrow that's not close to where the knight is, like, get them ready. We've got company.
Oh, yes, of course. She's gonna go scampering off and deeper into the tavern.
Yes, I have 3 other compatriots with me and a large wolfhound that we're traveling with. We have our wagon over there, but you should be able to keep shelter if you keep an eye out.
Sure.
If you do have a lady with you, I suggest you get some of your people to help me clean the place. He points to his maul like it's covered in gore. You might want to.
I see. Of course. And he will then just turn back and then make a few hand gestures, and as well as pointing up 4 fingers and then a gesture for them to come along. And several of the men-at-arms just move forward, not with their weapons out, but some of them have pole arms that they're just hefting along with them and moving to join you and make way in to help start cleaning.
Yeah. Yeah, he like leads them into the tavern. Well, I'm gonna leave this to you fellas. Sorry about that one. He just points to the one he smashed. It's a big hammer. That one's all ashes. Yeah. I think there's some brooms in the back. Not really sure. We killed the people who own the place, so I'm not sure.
Fenix, could you give me a roll of your... Let's just go ahead and call your empathy and add 3 to it.
Oh.
So 1d10 plus your empathy plus 3.
Yep. So this is gonna be that's 22. There you go.
All right. You can see that the men at arms are all working to like move the bodies elsewhere and clean up what amount of the blood can be cleaned up, and then like throwing like rugs and cloaks over the larger pools that have sort of set into the wood to hide them.
Yeah,
and sweeping away the ashes. But the thing is, they're all looking at you, just like, God damn, dude.
Yeah, it's rough work. The Vatgern didn't get here soon enough, so we did what we could. But yeah, we're tough people, and but life was like on the road. As my companions would say, he says, like, towards the second floor, like,
Siegryn, you make it towards to Irileth and Nienna's room. You can hear a little bit of a commotion.
Okay. Alright.
Oh, come on, you are the thirstiest person in the whole fucking group. Don't give me
It's
that
true.
okay,
Yeah.
flustered bullshit.
Oh goodness, not me.
Yeah, she'll listen for like a little bit, just kind of fanning herself like, oh my god, they're going at it like wild animals in there. And then she'll be like, okay, so, all right. You have to focus. You have a job to do. She's gonna start loudly banging on there. Okay, time to stop fucking. It's time for you to get your clothes on. We have company.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, dude.
I have some awareness rolls to make.
Oh no.
I've never wanted you guys to botch anything more in my life.
Damn it. Okay.
Oh, thank
continue.
God. Oh, who heard? No, okay. I imagine that there is a moment of silence and then faint giggles from Nienna at the very least. Who is it, Siegryn?
Oh, just some band of shady lesser nobles. She'll mention the house that's associated with their coat of arms. So, just in case, you might want to have your tits, bits, and clothes on.
And you thought that yelling was the best idea. Of course you did. All
Yes.
right, we're coming.
There's also breakfast. I'm sure you appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nienna will kinda look apologetically at Irileth that they got so summarily interrupted.
I just realized my mic wasn't on.
Oh, were you talking that whole time? I'm so sorry.
Just a little. He is gonna crack the door. Just his face appears, and he says, "Siegryn, buddy.
Hi.
If this ain't
Yes.
super important, I'm gonna make you a head shorter."
Oh, that's impossible.
All right, we'll be down in a minute.
All right, and she's gonna go scampering down the stairs.
Nienna is up and getting dressed.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get caught without armor again. Those claws hurt. You know anything about this house?
Saul, remind me how to pronounce the fucking house's name?
Girsahog.
Girsahog. Okay. She would. I assume, given that I'm now nobility and have all of have a bunch of social skills and stuff, that I probably know more about them.
Yeah, you know that their money is all over the place within the realms of Nilfgaard. They've actually had a few holdings that have actually gone further north towards where Redania and Temeria are, the regions that are, of course, now under the watchful eye of Nilfgaard. But you also know that they are well liked, if not extremely powerful. And there was actually more recently a wedding that took place. So if this is the lady, it could be the new lady Girsahog.
Okay. I will fill him in. While I am getting ready, I would like to cast Glamour on myself.
Okay.
I get a +2.
And
Go
can I
ahead.
roll like a streetwise thing? Because Siegryn mentioned that they're involved in some shadiness. do I know of any, like, hits or thefts they've hired or interactions with the criminal underworld I used to be way more a part of?
Go ahead and give me a streetwise roll.
All right. I am glamored up for the next 2 hours.
And that's 18.
All right. You have an ear to the streets, but you're not like super directly associated with them anymore. But you do know a few tales of some of the ventures of the Gearsahog family. You do know that while they are nobility, they also are at heart merchants, and most of their money that they don't get from proper channels comes from the distribution and smuggling of various items, magical artifacts, all kinds of like artistry. And you've even heard that some of the lesser members of the house are dealers of Celestine and Fistic.
Yeah. What little I've heard of them is that they're connected to, well, let's say that they're business-minded and unscrupulous.
Saul?
Yes.
Can I make grooming and style rolls for myself and Irileth to make us look extra presentable?
Of course you can, by all means.
Excellent.
Would they hear me yelling for them at this time?
Probably.
Okay.
I've actually got a 15 in grooming and style.
Oh, damn. Nice.
Do you want to do it or shall I?
So do I, so...
All right, let's braid each other's hair. That's a 21.
24.
All right. You both, in a shocking amount of time, are able to make yourselves look as presentable as possible. Irileth, you are able to even like shine your armor a little bit to where it looks prim and proper, despite the fact that underneath it you are sore, in pain a little bit from getting your ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to just like look the part of a captain of the guard, even if you might not be exactly feeling up to 100%. And
We're elves, we have to look as pretty as possible.
That's correct. And
That's
with the help of magic and your own skill at grooming and style, you're both looking quite nice today.
Right on.
Excellent. Ready to play the part.
After you, my lady. Opens the door.
Nienna will step out and make her way downstairs.
You're left to stop grinning like a teenager.
As you head down the steps, you can see that Fenix is there just helping out the men-at-arms to clean up the last of this space, including dusting away what was left of the ashes of the Bruxa, having been lit thoroughly on fire.
Nienna makes it a point that as we are walking, she has Irileth holding her hand, but it's not like in the crook of his elbow, but like her hand is like perched on top of his in that like very kind of dainty, noble way.
The knight sees this. Does Nienna have any like heraldry or any signs of her own status aside from the nature of her garb?
I think she would, because she knows there's noble. She wasn't wearing it yesterday because we were trying to be low key. But if she's gonna flex, she's gonna properly flex. She's got her probably like a necklace. Well, no, because she's got her pendant. A ring on the hand that's on top of Irileth that's got her house crest on it.
The knight looks to you and he just sees the crest and will move swiftly and bow low. My lady, I was not aware that we were in the company of another noble such as yourself. Please forgive me for not introducing myself and my men sooner.
Nothing to be forgiven. We had quite the upset here last night. I imagine my man forgot to mention it, and she kind of glances at Fenix.
Who gives you... Sorry.
He had said that you had interactions or dealings against a number of creatures.
Indeed.
Grizz, you were going to say?
Unpleasant, but nothing beyond our abilities.
And what was Phoenix gonna say?
Well, no, he gives you both a fucking livid look because we went on through this whole state of making ourselves not noticeable, and he wouldn't have mentioned it. Like, yes. My apologies, my lady. It skipped my mind, given everything we've gone through.
Understandable.
It's an even tone.
He does tend to be a bit more forgetful when he's not wearing a shirt.
Yes, you'll forgive me, sir, after all the commotion and me having to do my best to kill both of these things while he protects the lady. My clothing was ruined.
It's quite understandable. I would offer some of our own extras, but I don't think we have anything that suits your frame, sir.
It's all right, my good man. Irileth puts a hand on Phoenix's shoulder. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten.
Correction reaches up for Phoenix's shoulder.
Yeah, maybe he just stands in front of him. Looks very solemn.
I am given to understand that the lady of your house is with you.
Yes, the recently named Lady Gersahag.
Ah, I have been curious and hopeful to meet her. Perhaps we could have our breakfast outside in the yard while you good men clean up the mess.
I think that is an excellent idea, my lady. Just give me one moment so I may tell my associate that we will be having our breakfast in the sunlight. And he will just, with a rattle of his armor, just bow again, and then will quickly make his way out, never showing Nienna his back.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Where's Brynnhilder?
How about we talk about that one after we handle this mess, shall we? But I will say that as far as they're aware, we had a Vatgern briefly help us before leaving to go find out what the monster source was. That's the story, and we just said do it.
All right.
All right, then.
Saul, I'd like to... Sorry, go ahead.
No, Phoenix is just gonna let down his dreads, and then I'm gonna go get a shirt out of the wagon. I'm not sure who we're pretending to be, but if we try to leave with them, they're gonna quickly notice that we came here in a wagon.
We're not leaving with them.
Okay.
And moving incognito isn't that weird.
It is when you shine up like that, and he points at his armor.
You like it?
Well, I mean...
Listen, I'm a mage, and my clothes only lower my status so far. The second they saw me and realized that I was a mage, they were going to put two and two together. We're not that far from home.
It's true. I'm just saying, I'm gonna make sure we thoroughly look the part by adjusting some things outside. I'll be back.
Thank you, Phoenix.
Yeah. He'll nod and give a horrible salute to the men-at-arms before going out to the wagon and getting a shirt and cleaning himself up.
Well, it's not like we can be any more... She'll lower her voice. Any more shady than Gersahag?
Now, come on. Watch your mouth while they're here.
Irileth will give a knowing nod, though. Sketchy bastards. But good. Sketchy, maybe.
I'm going to go greet the lady of the house.
Would you want me to go with you?
You're welcome to if you would like. I don't know how much you're going to enjoy stuffy conversation, but...
Oh, I'll hang on every word.
Very well. On my way out, Saul,
Yes.
just to get it out of the way, I would like to use scheming.
By all means.
What is Lady Girsahog's intelligence?
9.
What? I don't think I could beat that if I fucking tried. But I guess we'll try.
Attempts can certainly be made. Maybe you'll get a crit. Maybe it'll explode.
I imagine I don't have any bonuses to this. That is a 20, and I will... If you utilize luck, do we take the higher of the 2 rolls, or do you take the second roll regardless of
I
what
will
it
take
is?
the higher of the 2 rolls.
Okay, then I'm gonna use luck and try one more time. Nope, 20.
So, with a 20. You have heard plenty of rumors that you think you might be able to play along with, but nothing that is at least concrete enough aside from what Irileth has said. And Irileth is also largely based on rumors, no direct dealings with anyone associated with House Girsahog.
Okay. Well, anybody whose intelligence is, I guess lower than a 6, I have a +3 again, so you'll just have to tell me when and if it applies.
I will let you know this right now. It applies to basically the rest of her cadre.
Everybody but her. Awesome.
Yep. So, like
Cool.
her knights, her men-at-arms, all them.
I'd like to assess their, gear, skill, quote-unquote, level. Just observe them as I pass, be like... my real question is, could we take them?
Give me a roll of tactics.
Okay. I gotta put more points in this. 25.
These people, the men-at-arms are, they're akin to just soldiers or guards. Trained, but not exactly the best of the best. They have numbers, but they also don't have intense skill, and their armor is decent, but your armor is made better. And your arms are made better. The knights are where the real rub is. They are garbed in full, heavy Nilfgaardian make. It would be a hassle to punch through all of that armor at any given point, and they are quite skilled, as most knights are, because they were trained by some of the best of the best at various fencing techniques and various ways of fighting. So the men-at-arms, easy. The two knights that she has could go either way, especially given the fact that they are wearing so much metal.
And
sure.
Question real quick. I would actually like to have Siegryn try and rattle her brain, see if she can recall what sort of businesses that Girsahog is primarily in. Even if she can only really recall the front ends that they're a part of.
Okay, so you want the more legal businesses they're part of, or are you trying to think about more of the illegal shit?
You know what, if we're going with polite company, let's go with the legal side of things for now.
Okay. It seems like for them, let's go ahead and get you a roll of business from you.
Business. I can do business. I'm always doing business.
Phoenix will rejoin with fresh pants and shirt. No apron though.
Understood.
Not as high as I hoped. 19.
With a 19, you do know about the fact that that their money is spread to investments in like far-flung businesses. Usually businesses run by non-humans, like the halfling apiary, gnomish tinkering. You even heard that they have a business in the town that you're headed towards. That is more of just like a woodcarver run by werebubs. But you also know that for the most part they are merchants, shipping things from usually by sea all over the continent, from the very southern reaches of Nilfgaard up towards the more northern reaches of Redania. They largely have a fleet of very large merchant ships that carry all kinds of things for them.
I see. So export, import, shipping in general, that's kind of their big thing.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Let's have some breakfast.
You all have come back together and are, with the help of the men-at-arms, actually like grabbing a couple of the longer tables to sort of put them together and carrying them outside, given that you're wanting to eat outside, away from the scenes of the carnage. You are able to settle in and enjoy the sunshine and the cooling air of outside. The carriage has been brought up and has stopped. The driver getting off to open up the door and offer a hand to the lady. The knights stand at attention at either side and say, "Now presenting the newly named Lady Hydrilla Girsahog ni Cordova." And out steps a beautiful, darker-skinned woman, younger, but looking very wise and a little bit weary for her age. And she is a woman that is very, very familiar to Fenix.
Oh goddamn.
Yeah, not bad, but maybe don't say that.
No, he's gonna stand up real slow. Not
It has
possible.
been a while since you've seen this woman. The last time you saw her, she was in the arms of one of your knights, being carried away, basically held and carried away via horseback from the ruins of your home. And now you realize it as you look to the knight that you were not speaking with, the knight that now holds her hand. That is your same associate. You know that his name was Weversham. He's older in his years, but he was always dutiful to you and to your sister.
Oh,
She is
shit.
wearing the colors of Girsahog, reds and golds that are, of course, tempered by Nilfgaardian black. And as she looks to you, you can see that she stops for only a very brief moment before she puts on a much more ladylike smile, a practiced one, and would curtsy to all of you. "A pleasure to make your acquaintance. Lady Nienna, yes?"
Yes. A pleasure to meet you, Lady Girsahog. A pity it has to be under such strange circumstances.
"I feel like we live in strange times, so strange circumstances should be the norm."
You speak wisely. would you join us for breakfast?
Of course. And she will make her way to take a seat, which is pulled out by the older knight that has been glued to her side since she stepped out of the carriage.
Did I catch the pause and the moment of recognition between her and Fenix?
I'll say yes, because you're used to dealing with nobility, and even seeing the moments where the mask slips is something you're used to, so you definitely caught it. You might not know exactly what's going on there, but you can see that these two do know each other. Or at the very least, she knows him.
Fenix will step away, bow, and turn to Nienna. I'll get everything we have for breakfast.
Thank you.
Head back inside.
Nienna will go over and join the lady at the table. She's not going to act like she has noticed anything. She's just keeping her face placid and calm, and that too perfect look.
So
Where were you and your men headed, lady?
Oh, we were headed to the city of Irileth. We have a new business opening there. We were hoping to see it, wish it well, see it actually begin to open its doors, as it were. I like to have a more personal touch with the various businesses I see under me.
Is that one of the businesses that Siegryn was aware of?
Yes, that is the one that is like a carpentry shop run by a werebub.
Is that the carpentry shop opened up, currently operated by a werebub, I believe?
Yes, that's the one.
Oh, I've heard many good things about it. Honestly, I think it's going to do quite well, especially under someone with such good business acumen, such as yourself. She gives a little bit of a saucy smile.
Lady Gizog, may I please introduce Siegryn, the assistant to my master of coin?
I see. And she will speak in a practiced, but still not entirely natural Dwarven, and say, good health to you and yours.
And much more to yours, she'll say back in Dwarven. And she looks quite impressed. Might I say, your dialect is quite good.
I believe it is important to understand many dialects, understand many languages, because dialects can hold so many more knives than even a cadre of men-at-arms. It's better to know the true meaning of things.
I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. Where did you learn your Dwarven from?
A few of my associates. I have a small stake in the business of the famed Zoltan Chevet. He taught me a few words, mostly the unpleasant ones. And then I learned more from a few other associates that have come under my banner, as it were.
Oh, I see. Well, if you're ever looking to learn more about Dwarven, I could always teach you about some of the more pleasant ones.
I would be delighted to learn that.
Nienna is shooting Siegryn a look. Anytime this woman isn't looking at her, Nienna has got her eyes locked on Siegryn like, behave.
let me know if you need me to roll seduction at any point, Solomon.
So noted. And she will turn back to Nienna. I have been told that your Vatgern adjourned from your Padre. Will they be rejoining us anytime soon, or do you think that they may be withheld?
I suspect she will be withheld for a time. She is driven to her quarry, one could say. She rarely returns until it's taken care of.
Our Vatgern is much the same. We sent him ahead to check out the road itself, but not the businesses to the sides of it. He should be returning to us here shortly as well, I think.
Well, then we can all rest a little bit easier knowing that we have at least one Vatgern in our midst.
Indeed. Though I will apologize for him ahead of time. He is a bit rough, even for Vatgern. He is from the School of the Bear.
I see.
Oh, well, that's quite all right. I actually happen to know a fellow Bear Vatgern myself.
They're quite upfront, aren't they?
Honestly, refreshingly so. Really takes the guesswork out of things.
I think at this point, Fenix would come back. He has like 2 platters. This is a tavern that they had completely ruined just like 12 hours before. I mean, it's not exactly nobility's worth of food, but he did the best he could with it. So
I do think Irileth followed him in briefly.
Okay.
Is there anything that Irileth and Fenix would have liked to discuss?
Hey. So, Brynnhilder's okay. These guys seem nice.
We can talk about it afterwards.
No, I was just going to say, if things go sideways, your hammer's better against armor than my sword.
They're not going to go sideways.
Sure, whatever. You want to help with that?
No. Did you really follow me in here to say, just in case we have to kill them all?
Yeah.
Now, if you haven't noticed, he like gestures to all of himself. He doesn't have his hammer on.
Well, how you do your job is your business. I'm just doing mine.
And I think the Lady Nienna would like you to use a different implement for this job. And as he's gathering the platters, he'll gesture towards Irileth's forehead and then start heading out.
And you head out with another platter of food.
Yeah, he'll just he's not trained in fucking like tableware and proper mannerisms, but he'll put it down as gently as he can on the table with silverware, platters, goblets. They didn't have much to drink, but he pulled out what he could to try to make it like a breakfast the best way he can.
Yeah, Irileth will pour some wine for people, then quickly taste it to make sure it's actually wine.
It is indeed wine.
Cool. To start passing them out. Vampires, gotta be sure.
Oh, so it was vampires that waylaid you. Oh, I'm very terribly sorry. Our Vatgern says that they can be quite tricksy to deal with.
I believe the one who posed as the proprietor of the establishment was a Brookser, to be specific.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the other one was a weird man-bat freak, but she was easy enough to pin down the arm.
It's true. You leapt on him with ferocity.
Well, I approach fighting the same way that I approach business.
And I'm sure we
Reckless.
could save such topics for away from the table.
Ah, yes. Apologies, my lady. And she'll give the lady across from them a bow of her head.
It's quite all right. We've had much more interesting discussions while on the road and while my husband is back at home. And it is about this time where another set of hoofs are beating the road that Fenix can hear. And he can smell the same kind of scent of various potions and various alchemical reagents all along this individual riding the horse, and can tell that it is a Vatgern that is approaching.
Great. Yeah, he just maintains his decorum. Probably pale as his feet at this point, though.
It's fair.
Yeah.
And the horse comes within sight. It is a strong, stockily built war horse that looks like it is wearing almost as much armor as the rider, who seems to have also gone for strong Nilfgaardian steel on his torso, but more chain along the legs and a more padded armored hood that he is able to pull back. And on his chest there is the amulet of the bear. Oswald.
Yes.
You come to this breakfast outdoors where your charge and her cadre of men-at-arms and her 2 knights have sat down with a group of individuals you haven't ever really seen before. 2 elves, a dwarf, a wolfhound, and a individual that you look at him and then you look at your charge, and give me a roll of deduction, if you would, please.
Sure. Alright, deduction. That is. There it is. No modifiers. So let's go.
No modifiers this time.
18.
18. You gotten to know your charge at least a decent bit, and you know that she had mentioned she had a few family members left. This individual that is more keeping to himself, more dressed as a commoner on the side of the group that you don't know, there is a bit of the resemblance. So could be family, but you don't see any sort of like real decorum to show a familial reconvening. It just seems to be business as usual.
Okay. Alright, I'm just go ahead and get off my horse and slowly approach and just did I see anything up on the roads or anything, or is it just still business as usual?
There seem to be a few little patches of danger, a couple ghouls, a couple necrophages that you had to take care of because someone had been attacked and left for dead.
Yeah, of course they're not going to bury him properly, so yep, about right. I'm just going to approach. The road should be clear for now. Everything is looking pretty okay. But who's to say when we get later down on the road?
Thank you, Vatgern and Oswald.
Of course.
Please join us, and she will turn to the rest. This is the Vatgern under the employ of the Girzahog family. Oswald of Irileth, actually.
Can I open up my senses and look to see if there is any hint of the cursed fuckery going on with him that's been going on with Brynnhilder?
By all means, go ahead and give me a roll of awareness, and I'll give you a +2.
Not magical training, huh? Okay.
If you're using magic, I will say you can go ahead and spend a stamina point and then roll magical training instead.
Would it be super obvious that I was using magic? I only asked if it was magical training because you let me. That's what you had me use last time. But if it's going to be crazy obvious to them, I won't do it.
I will say that the only one who might be able to catch it would be Oswald, given the fact he has a pendant that says, "Hey, magic's happening."
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. I will do it. I will spend the stamina. $26.
You open up your senses.
As Brynnhilder gave us his name last session, so...
It's true. You open up your senses, and you look for signs of a curse. You do not sense a Heim, much as you did on Brynnhilder and on the rest of your crew. But you sense that there is almost an echo of that curse. Like it came from the same source and reached him because it was familiar to him.
But it didn't stick around.
He might be feeling something, but it probably didn't stick around, and he doesn't look like tired, like he's been dealing with a Heim's nightmares. So maybe it didn't find him to be as useful a feeding ground.
Noted. I will close my senses back up. Continue on as if I didn't do anything, sipping my wine, nibbling at whatever food is on my plate.
Oswald, you do feel your pendant buzz and vibrate a little bit.
Okay.
So, could be that someone cast some kind of magic. Could also be the fact that it started buzzing when you got closer to this group, so maybe there's something magic at play here.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know them, so you can't really be too sure yet.
Right, I'm just going to keep my eyes on them, just sit down and just going to sit down and just keep an eye on them. So, what's your guys' story?
Stopped here for rest last night. Found the establishment was owned and operated by a Bruxa and two of her equally dastardly companions. Our Vatgun and the bravery of my companions saw them dealt with. And then we continued to take shelter here well, no one wanted to go back out on the road in the middle of the night, not with the carnage we had seen on the way here.
Can't say I blame you.
Well, the good news is they didn't throw out all the food.
I believe most of this is what we brought with us, Siegryn.
Well, at least it's delicious.
Thank you for the kind words.
Oh, of course.
And what did you find on the road, Vatgun?
Nothing too much, just your typical necrophages, that sort of thing. Took care of them.
Typical indeed.
What about you? Have you noticed anything that I might have missed?
Well, aside from the Brooks and her companions and the Leshen living in the forest.
Oswald will just sort of turn. It's like, gotta be shitting me.
That's
Not
where
so
our
in this case.
companion went.
You can see Oswald just sighs, you gotta be another fucking Leshen. Jesus.
You fought one before?
I have. Well, I just started with that one. That was took care of two of my problems that day, but still. Don't like fighting those fuckers.
Well, this one seems to be particularly aggressive. Attacks and rips apart caravans that haven't even gone into its forest but are simply traveling along the road. That's why we stayed here.
Mm-hmm.
You should have the men check your horses, she says as she looks towards the lady. We found a number of spores had attempted to cling on to ours when we stopped.
It will be done, and she will look to her knight, who just nods his head and will head towards the horses, pulling out what looks to be a silver knife from his belt as he does. Thank you so much for the heads up. These monsters seem to be getting odd, more ferocious, more
Bold.
tricky. Bold indeed. Just the other day, we had lost a caravan to a Chort attack, oddly enough. It wasn't even in the territory of the Chort, it seemed.
Really?
What's a short?
You
Pardon me,
said Oswald, you said it was akin to a fiend, but smaller and more ram-like?
That is correct.
And
Demon adjacent.
Well, no, more natural. I believe Oswald said they are in the same family as the Leshen.
That is correct. They're relics.
All right.
This is concerning. I don't like how we're doing this for quite a while, and I haven't seen stuff like this happen, and it's getting me concerned.
Indeed. Alvetgan said much the same.
Stuff like Leshen behaving weird. Your other thing.
Short.
Right. And I mean, I guess maybe Leshen and vampires in the same place is a little off. Wouldn't they fight each other?
Not necessarily, if the vampires didn't go into the Leshen's territory. I find it more strange that the Bruxa was operating so flagrantly.
Just
Would you excuse me for a moment?
Oh,
And Irileth just had a thought. I'll be right back. And Irileth is gonna head back into the inn.
Alrighty, what is Irileth looking for?
Basement.
You head to where the basement was. You do know that is where the bodies of what were probably the proprietors of the inn were earlier.
So we did find them.
Yeah, you found
Okay.
them exsanguinated, which is probably how the vampires were able to set up their little trick.
And just the proprietors, no other bodies?
A few more bodies, possibly travelers, one minstrel.
Okay. In that case, yeah, he doesn't get up. Just, yeah.
Alrighty.
It looks like they were here for maybe 2 weeks. less. Suppose it's good we caught them early.
I would hate to think of the loss of life for those just wanting to seek shelter from the road.
Well, it's nice to be in an age where fortune can favor the kind and true, at least a little bit.
True enough. Given that the roads have become so much more dangerous, I believe it might actually be better if we were to travel together to Irileth if you are heading in that direction.
Out of character, is that the name of the city that we're going to?
Yes.
We are, as a matter of fact.
Well,
I have no opposition. More to Nienna.
I can only think it... well... advantageous in both our favors, if we were to stick together. Leshens and Bruxa and... Choate running around. And our Vatican knows where we're headed. She'll know where to find us.
excellent. And she will raise her goblet to a safer journey ahead.
Here, here.
I will link my goblet to hers and take a long sip.
Nienna, you're wearing the silver, did you say bracelet or choker that you were having Fenix help you make?
It is a bracelet.
I love the bracelet that you're wearing. Who made it for you?
A very talented silversmith under my employ.
Well, perhaps I shall have to have something commissioned from him.
I would be happy to put you in touch.
Thank you. The breakfast has been had and things are being cleaned up. The tables put back into the inn just for anyone who really wants to utilize the inn from here on out. And the two groups have separated for the time being to make their own preparations, giving the professionals, or what's left of them, a few moments to talk amongst themselves.
Well, if everybody else is gone, including the lady, Nienna,
her carriage.
She's back in her carriage, okay. Nienna is going to turn to Fenix and a very quiet voice go, would you like to explain why you're the color of a sheet? And why she hesitated when she saw you? Oh.
What?
Apparently the lady is back in her carriage and all of her people are away, so we have a moment to talk. So as soon as they're out of earshot, Nienna turns to Fenix and goes, would you like to...
Yeah, no, he hears you. He's spacing. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, you disappeared on my screen for a minute, so I just assumed you didn't hear me.
Okay, no, yeah, he's sorry. He just kind of spaces and goes,
Fenix.
Yeah.
I think Nienna's gonna, grab the front of his shirt and kind of, force him to look at her. What's going on? You look like you've seen a ghost. She hesitated when she saw you. I'm not blind.
I think at this point, because he's still not, he's kind of looking through you still, but he's kind of comprehending what you're saying, and then you just see tears start to build in his eyes. My sister.
That's your sister.
Siegryn chokes on her wine. Flirted with her sister. I'm sorry. Continue.
Holy shit. Oh yeah, I can kind of see it now.
Is there any particular reason why you want that connection kept a secret?
I think it's the first time he kind of like meets your eyes, and you see, his pins aren't in, so that for the first time in 3 months, you see the gold irises that are always kind of hidden glint back into yours. Because I'm a werewolf.
I'm sure she's aware,
They're not.
but she is.
Of course she is. That's not the point. We loudly proclaimed to her and her entire retinue that her werewolf brother is still alive.
I suspect
can't.
most of them aren't aware that you are what you are.
We'll put the three of you in the carriage. You can talk privately then.
Reason would I have to be in that? Give me a moment, please.
Yeah.
By the way, he's still like bent over. He has not moved from where your fist is on his shirt.
When he says give him a moment, she's not holding on to him anymore, so she'll just sort of like reach up and gently push his shoulders back so that he stands up straight. Go on, take your moment.
Yeah. I'll go get Victory ready. You'll walk back over to the wagon.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Pours him another cup of wine.
Not everyone drinks their problems away. So,
Yeah, not everyone's just clever. Fine. All right.
If you gave it a shot, bro.
Irileth,
Wow. Yeah.
would you do me the kindness of preparing my horse? There's one thing I have to do before we leave this dreadful place behind.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Thank you.
Uh,
Go ahead, sorry.
Before I do, as I'm walking out, I'm just like, hey, Siegryn,
Yes.
people probably like paid for their rooms here, and I bet the vampires didn't spend that money. Eh?
Oh, you're right.
Keep an eye out.
But where did they keep it hidden? She's gonna get up and she will scamper off to go find that money.
Well,
I mean, I'll prepare the horse.
yeah. Nienna's going inside. It is going to start taking the going to each of the bird cages, opening them up, using that elven ability to get animals to like you. Very gently removing each one from its cage, spending a moment with it to like settle its nerves, and then taking it outside to let it go.
You do so. You're very easily able to do so, as elves, by their very nature, are one with nature. And the birds will quickly just hop onto your fingers and let you carry them outside where they may fly freely. Siegryn, if you're going to be looking for the gold, feel free to go ahead and roll me awareness, so you're trying to sniff it out.
Oh boy, let me get my best awareness right on the case here.
Can I interject something real quick?
By all means.
Can I say Phoenix had the same thought last night and also looked for him? All right.
I would say yes. You can go ahead and also give me a awareness roll.
I am so disappointed in all of you robbing the fucking dead the way that you are. Jesus Christ.
Let's go.
They can't use it anymore.
If it's not us, it's going to be somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna burn the place down, but okay.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
perfectly good inn.
Hey, we don't know that the original proprietors are here. We didn't see their bodies.
Yes, we did.
my
They're in the
God.
basement.
Okay,
34.
Siegryn didn't see them.
I got a 34.
All right then.
Let's go.
So I will say, Siegryn, you do find like pouches and little boxes that are like, oh, these could be little coffers where the gold is in, and you open them and they're empty.
Womp.
Phoenix, on the other hand, the night before, while everyone else was sleeping, cleaned this place out utterly.
Yo.
What?
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I actually think I'm going to go talk to Oswald for a moment.
All right, Oswald, you see that the elven noble lady has begun to approach you.
I think I'm by my horse, and per their of what they said, I have been looking over my horse to see if there's been any weird things on my horse as well.
Because you were further along the road as opposed to coming from Machina to Veroleta, you don't see anything, though one of the other rear horses did actually have something attached to it, and it got taken care of.
Good. Yep, I was just making sure. All right.
Of course.
Given that this is a warhorse, but is also a Vatgern's warhorse, should I assume that it is as twitchy as Brynnhilder's horses?
No, I would say not.
Okay. Nienna will walk over, and as she approaches, she'll just kind of like hold up a hand to let it like nuzzle her palm, so that she can kind of rub under its chin, spend a moment, and then look up at you. There are a number of bodies. We suspect the former proprietors and some of the people who were staying here are stashed in the basement. I don't know a lot about where some monsters come from, but my understanding is that bodies that aren't disposed of properly frequently turn into things that can victimize future passers-by.
Yes, that is correct.
Am I correct in assuming that burning them is the best way to deal with remains to make sure that they don't come back?
Bury them properly, burning it, whatever. Normally, that not only helps prevent other ghouls or other necrophages from appearing, so I would say so.
Excellent. Would you be kind enough to lend a hand and help my people bring them out so that we can dispose of them, so that we're not leaving a problem for the next people to come by?
Of course.
Nienna will make her way back over and will gesture for Irileth and Fenix, and if any of the not the knights but the men-at-arms are willing to help, she'd have them bring the bodies out along with whatever store of firewood is inside that they have. Basically build a quick pyre.
The men-at-arms stop for a moment, but you can see the older of the two knights just gives them a go-ahead gesture. And they will quickly move to assist.
As we're doing that, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna ask them if they served in the wars.
As they're working, you do get a few affirmatives. Some of them look, especially those with battle scars, some missing an eye, or like with a lip that looks like it's been sewed together and it looks like it's scarred over. They just start easily passing on back and forth like war stories.
Mm-hmm. Burning body was a pretty common thing there. Here's a fun thing here's a story about a funny thing that happened one time while I was doing this.
Exactly. Oswald,
Yes.
please give me a roll of awareness.
Will do. And do I get a +1 if I remember correctly for being a Witcher? Is that correct?
I believe Witcher actually does give you a +1 to awareness, yes.
All right. There we go. 26.
Oh, damn it.
You, as you're working to move these bodies out, you do feel your pendant vibrate a little bit stronger when you get closer to the rather tall gentleman that does look a little bit like your charge.
All right, I'm just gonna keep my eye on him because I'm not going to confront if he's not doing anything harmful or anything, but I'm very much aware.
All right. The bodies are quickly brought out from the cellar and taken care of. So that way they can be burned. Whatever doesn't burn can be buried and properly disposed of with a few minor spells and a few casts of the Igni sign.
Mm-hmm.
And quickly enough, the tavern is not back in working order, but cleaned of all of the carnage. Brynnhilder, are you... Or not Brynnhilder. Nienna, other one, sorry.
Yeah,
Other
the other
one.
one.
The other firebug.
Damn.
Are you planning on burning the inn to the ground still?
No. Once we were sure that we got all the bodies out, that works for me. I think Nienna would have taken the time to pen a notice to put up on the door, since her city is the closest city to this inn. Kind of a notice that the proprietors have passed, and I don't know, officials from the city will be looking into next of kin and such things to take over the establishment.
Fair enough. As you are all getting ready to head out, the carriage door opens. Lady Nienna,
Yes.
would you care to join me for the ride ahead?
That sounds lovely. Thank you.
Of course. And could you please bring along your manservant, the tall one?
I think that can be arranged. She'll look over at Fenix. Come along, manservant.
You know, there's a deep internal monologue that Phoenix goes through as he walks through that carriage. That it goes along with visceral imagery of the quick removal of the head. Just compliment her one more time.
Can we spend a monologue token in this game?
I gave myself one. You better believe I'm fucking using it, manservant. I can eat everyone here. Yeah, he will nod appropriately and make his way over.
Yeah, Nienna will head to the carriage. Assuming that there is somebody at the carriage door to help her in, she will step up and inside first.
The older knight who has been silent this entire time helps you step up and in, and very briefly locks eyes with Fenix and gives him a very slow, very shallow nod.
He gives a sharp one in return. And does his best to climb in. I'm pretty sure the top of his head almost reaches the height of the carriage.
It's very close. It does look like this carriage was made a little bit larger, though.
Wait. He'll clamber in there like an orangutan or some shit like that. Lanky ass as he is. And yeah, he'll get in.
Oswald, you see this as well, and you know that that your charge does not really permit other people aside from nobility and a very select few into her carriage as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just generally doesn't really hold much conversation aside from pleasantries and the usual business discussions aside from a very select few, including you and the older knight that has basically been with her for as long as you remember.
Right. Especially with how I was clocking that feeling with the medallion. I am definitely riding a little bit closer to the carriage just in case.
So noted.
Irileth will ride beside the new Witcher.
Okay.
And is Siegryn manning the wagon?
I suppose she shall in this case.
Alrighty. The other horses have been hitched up to just sort of ride along with for those who are in a carriage instead. And the journey begins again. We will begin with our focus on the inside of the carriage with Nienna, the Lady Gersahag, and Fenix. Lady Nienna, would you please tell me why it is that you have my brother in your employ?
Because he's my personal silversmith.
You always did have a way with your hands, Fenix.
Yeah, I think he just like looks up at her, and I think Nienna can kind of see from his side profile that he's crying again, and he's just like, it's a small smile.
He will get out a handkerchief and pass it to you, but it will also just give a small caress to your cheek.
Father always told me he wanted me to pick up a hammer instead of a sword, that it would serve our lands better.
And I agree with him. But silver? Is that safe?
No, and usually what keeps he like nod his head towards the door. Folks like him off my back.
Well, on the positive side, you don't need to worry too much about him. I trust him. He is aware.
His brow kind of furrows. He knows everything.
He does. He's one of 3 people in my life currently that know. Myself, Wiversham, and him.
Good. Lady Nienna here, of course, knows, and so do the rest of our party, simply because past events have made it necessary to tell them. Show them, well, honestly. I think he looks at Nienna kind of apologetically.
I see. And she looks to Nienna. I thank you for being so understanding.
Well, when one goes out of their way to help save one's life, and she'll look over at Fenix, the least I can do.
He always was good at watching out over others.
Indeed.
So, what brings the lot of you to Viraleda? You are, if you do not mind me saying, a rather interesting cadre.
Yes, we're looking into some things.
I see. You do not have to tell me everything. In fact, it might be better if I'm unaware of the most of it.
Yes, I suspect so. Especially given how little we know about the situation we are looking into. We hadn't intended to travel so openly as, well, a noblewoman and her escort, but she'll kind of shake her head. When I heard that there was nobility coming, I thought it wiser to assume you would figure it out the second you saw me.
That's true enough. Especially given the fact that there are only so many red-headed elven nobility within Nilfgaard's borders.
Red-headed elves at all, really.
Also true. Is this something dealing with her? And she will look to Fenix.
That you kind of, I think, see him bristle a bit and his muscles tighten up. You see him like clear at the floor. No. But, so you see him try to loosen up a bit. We met
Arrangements are being made.
I see. Well, if there's anything I can do to assist with those arrangements, or anything I can do to assist at all, please. I would be more than happy to help with anything that Fenix is up to. And she just looks to Fenix and smiles.
I think it's honestly best that you don't know that. It was best when you didn't know I was alive.
Yes,
Well, that cat's out of the bag, dear.
Indeed.
Sorry.
For what? For being alive?
Not coming home.
I was mad when I was younger, but I understand more properly now. I'm a bit more used to how things actually are nowadays.
Everything she'll be dead much sooner than you think.
Just make sure that she's the only one that's dead. I won't lose you again.
You won't.
Swear it.
Oh, I like her.
I'm quite fond of you as well.
Nienna gives her a smile, like a genuine smile.
Well, my grandfather's name, Adams.
Very well. Good. I'd very much like to hear how it happened, given what she did to us. I do hope that we might be able to keep in contact a little bit better, even if we must still be careful with our words outside of this carriage.
I'll do what I can. But first, there's someone who's kind of smiles a bit, very much like a sister to me that I can't wait for you to meet. That needs my help first.
Truly. If I may ask who?
Actually, speaking of, I'd love to know about your Vatgun. Aside from being trustworthy and in on the secret, what can you tell us about him?
Well, I know that he hails from the city of Irileth. I know that he is over a century old at this point. He's quite powerful. Well, at least in terms of martial skill. I've seen him take care of an entire company by himself.
Interesting.
I know that he has very rarely spoken of what his family was like before because, well, a century will help one forget. And it's hard to reminisce on those that are hard to remember, given all that would have happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
He did say he had a younger sister, though. Well, a couple of younger sisters, but one that would stick to his side at all times.
I never really pictured her that much of a follower, but I suppose there's a first time for everything.
Huh? I beg your pardon.
My Vatgun.
My sister.
She... Well, firstly, your Vatgern is a witcheress.
Yes.
Quite rare, from everything I know of the process.
I am given to understand as much, yes. I haven't met another in over a century.
Saved my life
And mine.
as well.
Huh. And you believe that she is, and she just sort of generally points to the side of the carriage where Oswald is trotting along.
Unless there are other witches named Oswald who come from the city we're headed to.
Not that I know of. Family of Vatgern.
2 at least. Although I have met a pair of twins who have had gun. Boys both, though.
That seems less uncommon. I do not know if I should tell him.
I wouldn't. Would be unfair to her to put her on the back foot because we have no way of warning her.
Agreed.
But as we're all aware, we can do what we can to make their meeting smooth.
Of course.
Or, get out of the way if blades get drawn.
Well, given that they are Vatgern, I figure blades will eventually be drawn, if only just so that way they can see who's better.
That is fair. I meant in the more aggressive type of greeting.
A sentry could breed contempt, possibly. You said you are going to the city for something involving your Vatgern?
We are going to the city and she's going to meet us there.
Yes, right. Things are going to be very interesting, it seems.
Indeed. GM.
Yes.
I'd like to do something vaguely shady.
Oh no, what is it?
I realize that I have the equivalent of a monologue token in Magic.
Aha.
I have telepathy, and if I don't talk to somebody and they're not themselves a magic user or a witcher, they don't know that I can listen to their thoughts.
Okay.
I'd like to use telepathy on Fenix.
God, I'm so fucking proud.
That is great.
Oh my god, is there
So proud.
like a digital way I can fuck you in the nose? It's so rude right now. Are you kidding me?
Can I please, GM?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
this
man.
is just one stamina for however long I have to keep it active. So.
Mm-hmm. I am so bummed I'm not in werewolf form right now because I could resist that so hard. Dare you?
27.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least for the next little while, you're currently living in Phoenix's head rent-free.
Yep. Hey Grizz, what's going on in Phoenix's head when he's all quiet?
All right, editors. I want you to play a soundbite of just like a goat scream for like the next 3 minutes.
No, don't you dare. Come on, I'm playing my monologue token, bitch. Let's do this.
He was always impressive, even as the smallest of us. Intelligent, quick-witted, even quick at a laugh. The last time I saw her, I was being dragged out of the house. Atris was dragging me. He was always bigger than I was and actually listened to our father more than the rest of us did when he screamed, "Get out." The last time I saw her, she was under the arm of one of our knights being run out of one of the side doors. Before it all was in flames. He was only 7. I knew in my heart of hearts that she was alive, but I never dared hope that I'd ever see her again. I'd always imagined she'd be advisor to some major house or something like that. I didn't think she'd be married into a family such as this. Running it, as it were. Maybe if I wasn't such a coward, I would have been able to see her sooner. Seen the wedding. Watch her grow up. I can't blame myself entirely. I was in chains for 10 years. No, I still a coward's excuse. I could have gone to see her afterwards. Could have ignored Brynnhilder's advice and just gone straight back to the house. See if I can find anything. I'm just so proud, honestly. Almost stronger than I am even now. I'm the one who's crying.
I
How
think.
long is Nienna gonna stay in his head?
Oh yeah, no. I think when he starts to kind of wax a little bit more poetic is when she kind of withdraws and ends the connection.
You're the plans for the ancient dynasty of werewolf. It's the last part you hear. No, yeah. Those are his thoughts.
Very well. We are going to shift our focus to outside of the carriage for the moment. After that little bit of a reunion and a little bit more discussion about things, to Irileth and Oswald, who are riding close beside one another. And Siegryn, who might be riding the wagon a little bit close behind because she just can't help but want to listen in on any tea.
Oh, absolutely. You know it.
Yep. I would like to ask Oswald, are you trying to keep tabs on the conversation inside, like trying to listen in, or are you just like keeping an eye on the goings on to make sure nothing's going on that's fucky?
I would like to listen and just so I'm in case it's like an escalation at any point during that, I would have been able to act just in case.
Give me a roll of awareness, please.
Will do. And 24.
Given the fact that there is all the jangling of metal from all the people wearing heavier armor, including yourself, there's the trotting along of horses and just the sound of the carriage and the wagon, you're able to keep an eye on the tone that is being used. You can't make out the exact words, maybe like every other one, every like third or fourth one. But you can at least keep an eye on the tone of the conversation, and it seems all very even, very straightforward, so it's fine at the moment.
That's all I care about.
So, Witcher, huh?
Yes, Witcher. Yes, I am.
How's that?
Long, difficult, bit pain in the ass sometimes.
Mm. Yeah. You around for the war?
Not really.
As in you weren't a Witcher yet, or you just were somewhere else?
Somewhere else.
Huh. You said you killed a Leshen.
That is correct.
I didn't really get a look at the one we passed before. How do you... I mean, like, our person told me, you gotta, like, beat it down and find some thing and then burn or break that.
Yeah,
But-
that's what I had to do with it. Luckily, guy who was coming along, it was after me. He met his end to that Leshen, so worked out.
Right, but that's my question, right? Breaking idols or whatever, that's not really my part of things. The actual fighting it, what does it do? What's it got? I mean, it looked tall, fucking long arms, rocks. Does it have weapons? Does it use magic? Like, how did you actually fight it?
It took a lot. It's Igni was definitely, Spire was definitely some help against it, but when tendrils of vines and thorns come out of it, it's not fun. I hold up my hand, and underneath all this definitely are some pretty good scars from that fight.
Yeah. So that's like maybe one of the bigger things you fought?
Definitely.
Okay. How long have you been service to this here house?
So, storytelling.
You've been a Witcher for about a century, but most of that
Yeah.
was as the Witchers do, walking the path.
Right.
You've been with this house for about since the end of the war, maybe a little bit before it. So about 20, 25 years?
About 25 years or so.
Okay. Mostly in Nilfgaard for that time. Well, I guess everything's Nilfgaard now, right?
That is true. Chuckles though, slightly thinking of where they trained. So what about you lot? What brings you to where you're going?
Oh, just a little inspection of the lands. We, one of our parties from there, I think, or knows the place well.
Really now?
Yeah. We've been having some stuff in the capital. It was time to take a little walk, see the surroundings, make some deals, meet people in person. Siegryn has been wanting to expand her operations. Been a lot of teaching, not a lot of time for being a merchant. Isn't that right?
She gives a little bit of a wave.
Oh, yes. I suppose I have been moving extensively away from purely business to educational means as of late.
Should I be rolling deception?
Please.
Is there like a insight or something like that, dude?
Well, there is a human perception roll that you can make.
Oh,
yeah.
Real happy I didn't have to have that spit take recorded. That was bad. Wait, you know I'm lying? I don't know. I know.
Ooh. I may
Oh, boy.
luck that.
Don't worry. Oh, okay, you got lucky.
You rolled a critical success, and I still outdid.
Yep.
Are you?
Second roll was a 2.
Gimme! No.
I mean, to be fair, guys, he is a witcher. He's not allowed to have a whole lot in human perception.
No, I know.
You have
Also,
a plus 13 to this.
out of character, way to go, Overthinker, just blowing the fucking cover that I gave Siegryn and the kids. Thanks for that.
Oh my god.
I can't keep all our lies straight.
Kids? What kid? Yeah, what kid, says the Witcher. Brilliant.
The deceit
Yeah.
keeps
Doing
hold.
some business.
Yep.
We're here to sell alcohol or something.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Now I need a deceit roll from Siegryn at a -3 for that yes. It was,
God
not
damn it.
not the most covert.
telling
I'm super
lies.
covert. What are you on about? Oh god.
Oh, come on. Hit it. Come on, get it. Come on, get it. Come on, get it, Witcher.
No
Get
way.
another human perception from
No way.
from
Get it.
Oswald.
Get
Okay.
it. All power in the world. Believe in you.
9.
Oswald's just like, huh? Huh?
Oswald's
Suck it,
dwarf's just
Gurn.
weird.
He's just a couple
dwarf
of
is-
merchants.
Dwarf's just odd.
Yeah, it's just it's. All right.
But you're from here too, right?
Didn't mention that.
Your lady did.
Oh. Did she mention that too? Yeah, I think she did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm from this area. I'm. We're up here.
I hear the fighting style is something to see.
Quite. I myself am a practitioner of it.
Well, I don't think we'll make the city wall by tonight. How about you and I find a clearing and you show me a couple of moves?
Oh, honestly, Irileth, why do you insist on getting tossed around by anything that you find threatens your masculinity?
Neither of those things are true, but you're very funny. I'm just looking to learn from someone who knows things I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to hopefully teach you some things, but I'm not going to go easy.
Would I learn anything if you did?
Try not to wrap him around your limbs too badly. We do need him back in working order to some degree.
Sure.
All right. Look forward to it.
After a bit more travel, it comes to where you all are not really able to get to the city, but you are getting to where you're within a few hours' ride in the morning, where you can get to the walls easily enough. So the carriage stops, and the knights and men-at-arms immediately begin to work to make camp, setting up the lady's larger, more pavilion-esque tent herself first, and then beginning to set up their own little tents. The carriage door is opened by Weversham, and the other knight says, "We will have to camp here for the night, my lady and my lady. The walls should be within a few hours' ride once we come to the morning."
Of course. Can I rewind just a little bit, Saul?
Absolutely. What's up?
How injured is Fenix?
Oh, I got back to. You said I got back to halfway, so I am, literally about halfway, a little over it.
Okay.
Yeah, in all intents and purposes, even underneath all like the new shirts and stuff, he still looks pretty peaky. Kind of fucked up.
Okay, that's that's enough that I think I'd rather wait until we stop and do a ritual rather than try and do healing hands.
Are you looking over his wounds right now?
I think she kind of gave him like a cursory look during the ride.
Yeah. He'll just hold up a hand. I'll heal. I heal very quickly, Nienna. I'll be fine. And he just points at the. He doesn't hold up the back of his hand to his sister, but he'll hold up his hand and gesture to where the pens in the back of his hands would be.
Nienna will sort of tilt her head slightly.
By the morning, I should be fine.
Very well.
Thank you, though.
If you're not, she's going to do whatever she was going to. That coming from your sister.
What exactly did she just say?
I don't really know either.
Sorry, my mic fell.
Okay.
She said, if not, she's going to do whatever she was just about to.
Mm.
That is very much his style, yes.
I really do like you. Nienna's sister.
I quite like you as well.
Told you I like my sister. You're all very much alike, actually. He'll just the carriage stop. He's gonna get the fuck out of it.
Hey, Siegryn, don't you like his sister?
She just kind of smacks her lips a little bit, bobs her brows in an extremely gay fashion.
Jesus.
When does this occur? I'm really confused about the time frame.
You guys aren't fucking there. Y'all aren't there. We were in the coach.
Not canon.
That said, when we stop and Fenix climbs out, Nienna will kind of very gently clear her throat to get his attention, and then wait for him to hold out a hand so that she can get out, because there are still appearances that have to be kept up in front of everybody else.
No, he's doing it. It takes him a second. Made for people who are like 5 feet tall. But he'll. I'm looking like Slender Man getting out of this carriage, and then he'll turn around and help Nienna out.
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's like a clown car.
Yeah, but he'll act as the manservant does and hold out his hand to help the lady Nienna out of the car.
Excellent. She will take his hand and climb out. Smooth her top.
You know what? He'll hold out his hand for the Lady Hadrilla.
To which she will take it and smile very warmly to you. And thank you, good sir.
He'll bow as he does so.
Lady Nienna, would you care to retire with me for the evening?
I think for just a moment, Nienna's gonna glance towards Irileth.
Who rides up with a "Are we good?" expression.
I think that might be for the best. But I have things to see to with my own people before I can retire.
Of course. The tent should be ready and we should have comfortable arrangements.
Thank you.
Of course. And she will walk off with her duo of knights. The men at arms are quickly getting fires going and getting bits of dinner prepared.
Real quick, how much taller than I am I than those two knights?
The younger knight, you're a good maybe 1.5 feet. Weversham, however, you're only about maybe 3 inches taller.
You telling me the younger knight is Nienna's height?
Yeah.
Well, he's tiny.
He's just covered in metal.
He might be an elf.
I mean, most elves are tall. Nienna's just unusual. Nienna's gonna start pulling objects out of some of the pouches on her belt. She'll look over at Oswald.
Mm-hmm.
Your pendant is about to start vibrating that good. And she's going to gesture Irileth over. Come here.
Hmm?
I'm going to finish what I started with those wounds of yours.
I appreciate that.
I'm going to start setting up for the ritual of healing.
You staying in the nice tent tonight?
I am, for the sake of appearances.
I get it. You're embarrassed of me.
Yes, darling. I'm utterly embarrassed to be seen with the most handsome man here. Now sit. Stop pouting.
No, he smiles. It's all right. I got a date.
She sort of arches a brow as she begins to chalk out the ritual lines.
Oswald's a practitioner of the that sword technique me and Brynnhilder were discussing. He's going to show me a couple of moves.
I see. You found another boy so that you two can hit each other with sticks. And she'll kind of pat him on the head. Saul?
Yes.
I'm preparing the ritual of life.
Wunderbar. Ritual
crafting. I don't know why this doesn't have 25, so it works. And then I need to roll. No, just 10 rounds. Cool. So for 10 rounds, you get 3 health points.
That'll put me back to full.
30.
And then some.
Cool.
The extra can go to whoever else is injured as well.
Yeah, does anybody else need anything, Siegryn?
Nope. Not on her end.
Okay, how many rounds do you have left over? Because I know Fenix is going to say no.
I only needed 3.
You only needed 3 hit points?
3 rounds for 9 hit points. I had 8 damage left on me.
Ah, well then I will top myself off in that case. And that'll put me at full.
Wonderful. Oswald, you had heard that there was some new upstart noble lady that was actually a sorceress?
Mm-hmm.
This is her.
Suspicion now rises due to my history of mages.
A witch with a bad history with mages, never.
You and every fucking other person in this setting, goddamn.
I wonder why.
You know who
Hey,
never
listen.
has a problem with mages? This guy.
Weren't you trying to stab one in your sleep the other day? So Saul.
That was a stage. That's different.
What position is the moon in today?
Crescent.
Fuck. Got it. Keep a note.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, once it's over, Nienna will offer just to double check that the other our traveling companions don't have anybody who needs healing, and if they don't, then she will turn in for the night, I suppose.
Alrighty.
Sleep well. Try not to be hungover hanging out with your new friend.
Not everybody drinks the way that you do, love.
I know. I feel bad for him.
Nienna just sort of shakes her head, makes her way to the tent.
Alrighty. Just for shits and giggles, I would like to, if Oswald and Irileth are going to find a space to whap each other.
Not the verb I'd have chosen, but
you know. I would like both of you to go ahead and roll me swordsmanship. Just a basic roll to see how each of you do.
If you're
All I'm
wondering for the
saying is
music for
there's
the...
all I'm saying is there's another verb he could have used that sounds an awful lot like whap. So
Sorry, still a little bit new to how to do this. With swordsmanship, is it like fast strike, strong strike? I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I'm sorry.
It is all good. The swordsmanship is the weird one. You'll just want to do...
fast
You
strike.
just want to
probably.
click on the actual name of the skill. That will just give you a basic skill roll, I believe.
Oh, when I click on it, it gives me that.
It opens the menu.
Oh, it does.
I went fast.
Let's just go ahead and make it two. Both of you rolling fast strikes then.
Okay.
song for the scene is Liquid Sword.
Alright.
And no attack mods for lighting or terrain.
Nope. You both are basically on as even ground as you could be.
So 21 and a 26.
29, 26.
So,
Alright.
yeah, I think you definitely have me in the beginning, and then we sort of balance out once we figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Because Irileth, you're used to training with Brynnhilder, you're used to more the Griffin school style of fighting, where it's it's almost closer to fencing because they're trying to keep one hand ready for casting signs because they're the magical Witcher school. And when this Oswald style is way more aggressive, way more forceful, that kind of throws you for a bit of a loop because he's definitely using more of the fact that the Witcher's swords are bastard swords, and he's using it more two-handed because he's more just wanting to put more force into every blow.
Very impressive.
Thanks. You're not half bad yourself.
Yeah, no, I practice. It's been a while since I've had to use it at, well, for real.
That's fair. Things have definitely been changing over the years.
If I'm honest, sits down, passes water.
Mhm.
I'd prefer a bow to a sword most days.
Really?
Sure. Strike a man down from a good distance. Plus, put a few arrows around a bunch of soldiers. None of them are going to come at you. They're all hiding. They don't want to be the one to come out first. Very effective against a bunch of cowardly Northmen.
That is interesting indeed, though. I will say it's definitely went up against a few people with bows, and they'd be lucky to even scratch me.
Well, you don't strike me as a coward.
That is fair. Oswald just goes, leans up against most likely a tree or something like that, and just starts thinking to themselves a bit.
Enough. Been a long road that Oswald has been down, especially since this will probably be one of the first times in the century that he's managed to come home.
Indeed.
I do have one more question.
Oh, okay.
Master Witcher, I understand members of your order are, don't all see monsters the same way. Is that true?
That
Two
is
differing
true.
philosophies?
There is some differing philosophies. Why do you ask?
Well, I don't mean to be impertinent, rude, alone in the woods with our swords out. Are you the sort of witcher who kills things that look like monsters? Or would you rather figure a problem out than hack it to pieces?
I would much rather go try to... As aggressive as most people from my school like to be, I do like to see... I do want to give anyone a chance, even a monster, but as soon as they hurt someone, it's all over.
Fair enough.
Unless, of course, there's justifiable reasons, but you know that's always... there's always circumstances to always take account of.
You judge a monster by the same rules as a man if he were a man most of the time and a monster occasionally.
You can say that.
Then I think you, sir, have earned a little drink. He passes a flask.
I'll take the flask and take a sip of it.
It's strong, relatively for most normal people.
Yeah.
Nothing for you though, since Witcher Constitution.
And Skellig. That's all I have to say. Skellig.
And definitely Skellige. Skellige booze has at times been strong enough to let you feel it. This is nothing.
Yeah, this is not. It's like...
You'd recognize this as having a kick for other people.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Just hand it back.
Well then, unless we want to hit each other a little more, I suggest we head back and get some sleep. No telling what the city holds.
Definitely.
All right.
So you two head back, and inside the larger tent, the ladies are able to relax. The lady that you are in the tent with, Nienna, she actually has a small pot of tea that she is pouring herself, and says, "Would you like some for this evening, Lady Nienna?"
Oh, that sounds lovely. Thank you.
Of course. And she pours a cup for you as well. It's odd, honestly. People always say that coincidences and good things just don't really happen, but here I am, enjoying a cup of tea with someone who brought my brother back to me.
Well, I can't say that I'm responsible for bringing him back.
Well, you know what I mean.
But I'm happy to have been here to witness it. So few good things happen these days.
Only too true. I assume that he has told you a bit about the woman that we were speaking of.
I know more than I think he realizes. I make it a point to keep tabs on those who are a potential threat to me and my people.
I see. I just wanted to make sure that you understand that she is incredibly dangerous.
She's not the only one.
True enough. I had heard that you are also capable of weaving chaos.
I am.
Then I think that you will at least give her a run for her money. She's tricky. She gets plenty of people to fight for her, but she also knows how to make things almost appear as if by accident.
Is there like a role of some sort that I can sort of puzzle out what she's trying to tell me?
Deduction.
Of course. Which I do not have ranks in. But I am very smart, so we will see.
But you are smart.
17, that's pretty good. That's almost as good as I can get unless I explode, so.
You definitely think that she is speaking from experience. It's very possible that making things look like an accident had something to do with what happened to her and Fenix. Could be that she has had to experience something akin to this recently.
How many times have you tangled with her?
By now, thrice. Once with what happened to our family, that was ruled as a act of the gods, because it seemed that lightning had struck our home, and that the fire had claimed us. Once, when I was younger, much more brash, I tried to take things into my own hands, and then I slipped and had to hobble for several months. Most recently, I had attempted to employ others to take care of her. Those who would a bit of a reputation for being quite skilled in doing so. Perhaps you know of the reputation of the School of the Cat of the Vatgern.
Nienna sort of doesn't look uncomfortable. She looks almost annoyed because she has personal experience with one of those fuckers. More than you could possibly imagine.
Well, for that I apologize. She made them look fools. They were found washed up, bodies waterlogged, lungs bloated to bursting.
I see.
It was very familiar to what I saw her do to my father.
Well, I will not make promises I do not know for certain I can keep, but I will promise that should she come after your brother, and it is within my power to do so, I will stop her.
Thank you. I would just ask one more thing. Make sure he keeps good with his promises. He's intelligent, wildly so. But he's also quite hard-headed.
I have noticed.
When he thinks he knows what's best, he will hear little to nothing else around him.
Yes, I have figured that out.
If he ever looks like he's about to do something stupid, do feel free to just whap him upside the head. It's what I did when I was much younger. You might have to get a stepladder, but still.
Please don't take this the wrong way, but if I feel like he's going to do something stupid on a grand scale. I think it's going to take more than smacking him upside the head to stop him. But I have a plan for that.
Well, then I leave him in your very capable hands, and she will offer a small cheers with her teacup.
I will return it. Out of character, because I know we're about to wrap up. I have two quick questions. Would you consider this good recovery time to build my stamina back up, or am I still like fucked up and can't recover stamina normally?
I will say that you can recover stamina with a recovery action.
Alright, cool. I just want to make sure that I do that before I have to activate my bracelet when I go to bed tonight.
Fair enough.
And that was going to be my other question. I think I would wait for her to be settled and for the lights to be out, and then I will reach down and do the thing that Fenix showed me how to do, where you press in one of the heads on the bracelet, and that Dimeterium sliver can touch my skin.
Very well.
And I know I have to roll for that, but I don't remember what the fucking resistance is.
Oh,
Oh, here it is. Okay. I have to... reduce my vigor threshold to 0 and make an endurance check. Where is endurance?
it's under the body skills.
Ah. I don't think this is going to help, but are you fucking kidding me? I made my fucking thing. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
alrighty then.
Cool. Can I just like choose to fail at like the least extreme since I passed that check?
I will absolutely say that you can choose to fail, yes.
Okay.
Especially since the description says you can roll, not that you have to roll.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the least, preferably with the least extreme effect, which is just that it makes me itch and I can't cast anything. So that I don't blow Phoenix's sister up in my sleep.
That's fair. Speaking of Phoenix, before we wrap up, we will sweep back over to our craftsman. What you
Yeah.
up to?
Been a really long day. So I think it's like the shadows settle in and everyone's going to sleep. He's going to go shake off the cobwebs. And go wolf it out in the woods for a while before going to sleep.
All right. You go wolf it out in the woods for a while. You let the night pass as you embrace your true form, your normal form. And you take in the smells, the sights, the sounds of the night, the chirping of the insects, the cool breeze through the leaves, until you smell something.
Yeah, I thought so.
You smell sulfur. And that is where we're going to end it for the night.